Hi everyone, as promised, I'm going to finish my field notes journal and I will show you where I'm up to. So I have glued on this front cover to here and just have a little flip through. It's clearly a pull out and tag. It's always a funny thing when you get near the end. It's like you can see things that you can do, but you also need to finish. So that's where we're at. So winter, I've got the winter. I've done my little print out of Winter Berry. I will stitch over this. Winter Visitors, my little wombat. And I printed out on some of this printable, but it's a canvas. It's quite thick and it's actually a bit hard to stitch through. But the favourite winter flower of the week, because obviously it changes, is the Scabiosa Fama, and here it is. So this is what I'm up to. I'm up to a lot of thread painting, so I wanted to just take you through what I've done so far. I've also put some buttons and a little label here, added a little bit of this Yukata by Debbie Maddie and a flower because I thought it looked a little bit like it, and I've cut up a blue doily, so I wanted to keep the blue and white kind of through winter just to feel a bit cooler. And I've got a couple of flowers. Maybe later I'll stitch onto those too, but this page, once it's glued down on this backing, I won't be able to stitch on here, so I do have to finish this. So I have used this particular colour all the way around as the main colour. Now what I'm using is 2 strands of this more blue-grey with 1 strand of that. So as I'm stitching it in and through, it's blending in, just filling in the gaps. And then what I plan to do is go over with the lighter blue into some of the gaps and some of the bits, and here I've got a bit of the darker blue, so I'll use a bit of the darker blue through some of these as well. And I've just picked out this sort of off-white to do some French knots in the middle, probably mix it with a little bit of the blue-grey in the middle, so that'll be full of French knots. So that's the process, and then I'll be gluing it. So everything else is finished, well, for now anyway. I'll be gluing this on here and it will be finished. So for now I'm just going to stitch a little bit, and with the 3 strands of floss, at least it's relatively quick, you know, other than the fact that it's the same canvas as the word, so it takes a little bit to get it through, but we get there. So I'm just finding gaps coming up into the darker colour and just coming through. So these ones have funny petals that are a bit all kind of over the place, and they're all frilly. So I know that this doesn't look exactly like these petals, but it's kind of giving an idea that there are layers of petals by all the different colours. It's a little bit pansy-like. This is what they look when they're on the stalk. A bit more purple in this picture. Very periwinkle blue in this one. I'm thinking I'm doing French knots for this middle bit, but I may have another think, because they are like little sort of cup shapes. I think that I mean, in this middle part in here, French knots would really work, but I'm not sure about these little cups. It's not going to be the absolute exact replica. It's a representation. I think that if I was doing it on something easier to stitch through, I might be able to do a bit more finer work with it, but yeah, this is a bit blocky, I guess, in terms of how thick this is, the canvas. So this is what I've been doing for the grey, getting 2 strands, grey blue, and just 1 strand of this darker. And I'll be using a little bit more. This is the Jenny Thompson Flower Thread. This is the dark, so I'll probably highlight a few little areas just like I have here with the dark as well. We're ready to finish that last bit. So I hope everyone is doing well, and everyone's probably miles ahead with finishing their volume 6, and some people are getting right onto volume 7. In my little haul video I mentioned that I might do my volume 7 a little bit different. I'll probably very quickly do a video after this one, getting started on it. I can't miss a volume now because I've done them all. It would be wrong to miss a volume. But however, I had a chat to Sarah while I was up at the Green Door Studio before Christmas, and I was just saying, when I was teaching, I don't know why they wanted us to write a lesson plan and then follow it to the absolute letter, because I would have to do the lesson and then write the lesson plan after. And I feel it's a little bit like that with volume 7, just a tiny bit, that I haven't got a picture of the end result in my head, partly because I don't know what the prompts are all going to be, other than everyone assumes there's a vase of flowers. So, and we've got some placements on the table. So I will show you in the next video what I've been doing when I go out with my sketchbook. And I'm thinking a little bit Jessie Chorley in a way, of just having like items on single bits of material, and then thinking later about how I want to place them. And I'm not really thinking of a room necessarily. So I think this one's going to be different for me. A little bit of experimentation too, because I want to sort of look at a particular artist and work out how to make not exact copy, but how to stitch that, how to work brush strokes and stitches. So I'm quite happy to do it as a learning journey. Honestly, it'll be a learning journey of bits and pieces that may or may not come together in the end into one large piece. They might work incredibly well coming together as a large piece. Who knows? We'll see. I might do a little bit of stitching on this winter. I've just all the way through, I've just stitched over the word that is the season for the couple of panels. Okay, so we've got 3 strands. And basically I will finish this stitching, finish the flower. I've used Fabric Fix to glue this front one to the panel, and I'll use Fabric Fix to glue this one to the panel, and then I will come back and do a little flip through, or I'll just put some photos at the end. Volume 6, amazing, it's been good fun. Just going to do some long and short stitches through here. So I'll go and get on with it, and I will see you when it's all finished and completed. Okay, I am back. Now I just thought I'd go through how I'm doing the darker thread. So I started with dark thread, and then I thought, oh, I don't want to do that all the way around because it's sort of a shadow that you add over the top. And I'm not doing a lot because I figure this looks like it's in the shadow. It's the darker spot, and coming around it's sort of lighter as if the sun's on it. So I've got round to here, so you can see just these little one stitch using this Jenny Thompson flower thread. So it's not very thick at all. It's 100% cotton, but it's almost just like a sewing machine weight. Don't think it says. Number 475 for the 575. Oh, my numbers aren't working today. So when I've got round to here, I thought you might like to see that sometimes it can get in under and lost in the thread. And so I'm just basically going in that spot there about 3 times to just make sure it's showing and it's still got that depth. And I'm just doing singles around, and I just watch it and see how it goes. So this is me self-taught, just nutting out how to thread paint without having done a class on it, and just looking at people's work on Instagram, on YouTube. So like that. Just around. The other thing that I did with this particular flower, I'll just do 1 or 2 more shorter ones in here, just because the grey's a little bit solid there. I just like the way that we can get a lot of light and shade by the thread painting. Right, so it has got a little bit wobbly, but that's okay because it's going to be glued down to this. Remember I was saying I thought I'd do French knots through here, especially for these little backgrounds, but I wasn't sure how to do these little cups. And of course it is a representation. It is not necessarily meant to be exact, as I've already said. So what I've done is use the grey and this sort of cornflower blue and the grey, and so I have 1 thread of that and 2 threads of that, 2 strands, sorry, and that's what I was using where this mostly grey is. So I've used what I had left to do some French knots on the darker parts of the centre. I mean, I'll put this here so you can have a comparison. So 2 strands of the grey and then 1 strand of this single-stranded cotton. It's kind of a ivory or an off-white ivory. And then what I've done is a couple of little French knots, but not all French knots. I've done little Y stitches, just individual Y stitches. I haven't joined them. I've just done them, spotted around, and then if my Y stitch was, say for instance, where's an example, like this one ended up a bit big, I've ended up putting a French knot in the gap of the Y, that part. So I'm really happy with that. But I think that there are these little funny little stamens that are very, very tiny. I don't think I'm going to bother with those, but I did think to add a little bit of light and shade, I might just come in some, where did my thread end up? So this is close to here. A couple of the thicker, darker areas, I might just come in and similarly do just a couple of tiny, I might do 3 wraps because this is quite thin compared to what I've done before. Just a couple of tiny little French knots, just to add in another layer of the light and shade on the top. I don't want to do a lot because I don't want to make it very, very dark, but that's what I just thought I'd do then for adding 3 wraps. Just adding another element to add another dimension. And like I say, I don't want a lot of them. Hope everyone's year's going well and you've started in full health, unlike some of us. But I'm getting back there. Yesterday I had a lovely visit out to my sister's because we hadn't caught up for Christmas, and picked up mostly money from people, which is nice, but probably go to the op shop with it. But my family had bought me some Diana Rowney inks, which I haven't tried before, so I've got about 6 of those, so that's exciting. I've got a couple of little fun projects to do with those as I go. As usual, there's always a lot to do, and I don't know why I don't manage to get everything done. So I was watching Natasha at Treasure Books, and she did a video. I don't know if it's very A-type, very OCD, but she's done a video of her clean out. Not the video of her clean out, but a video of the chart she made to keep a track of all of her, what she got rid of. She wanted to do a big clean out of the house, the whole house, not just the craft room, the whole house. Just grabbing that one, didn't quite get itself sorted there. It's a very elaborate chart. Every room has a colour on the chart. There's tiny little squares. I don't think I'll end up going to those. Who has time? Like, I don't know. I don't know where the time goes, but anyway, she's colours for each room and a great big massive square chart. a grid. And I think she cleaned out like 1,500 things over the whole year. But every month she's got her little chart with what she cleaned, what room and how much she got rid of. And I thought, it'll take me a year to do my craft room, I think. Because while I was at my sister's, my other sister had dropped off a box for me because a friend of hers, her mum had died. And my middle sister, sews. She's got a new machine recently. She does have issues with her neck. So when she was in Queensland, she was making a lot of calisthenic clothes for the local gym and the local ladies. So like she was specialising in the stretch fabric and lycra and stuff. And I'm not quite sure, recently she has been, I know she was making pincushion teacups, but she's a bit gothic, so she's into the gothic stuff, so all of her stuff has a bit of a gothic flair, and so apparently she's making quite a few things, which is really good, considering she has had a lot of time out with pain and etc. We have a bit of a family history of carpal tunnel, and she has fibromyalgia, so there's a few issues that can put you back in your tracks, but she's getting better. She's getting on with it, and that's great to hear that she's doing that. Anyway, I'm not going to do a thrift haul with this whole box because it was a crafter's dream. But she got a lot of stuff, so I don't know what she got, but she gave me quite a bit of stuff that she didn't want. And what she doesn't do is beading, and she's ended up giving me all the beads and buttons. Some buttons, nothing remarkable in the buttons, but the beads, my goodness, I might grab some and show you. The beads were a lot of, looks like Venetian glass or something. I don't know. I don't know enough about how to tell what any of them are, but you know, I've got this little beautiful bead, but I can tell with those ones that they're very handmade. I don't know if she herself did some hand beading, but I'm just going to grab them and show you because someone might have a bit of knowledge. Okay, so I've just kind of put them all in one big tub because it's just all over the kitchen table and I live with other people, so I can't be doing that stuff. So there are little things that she's had a go at making these things, and I'm assuming she's died rather than gone into an old people's home or something like that. But look at that beading. Isn't that beautiful? Valita, you might like to see this. And just these little things where she's just been practicing learning how to bead. Where's the other? So there's these very fine beads, little seed beads, which do my head in. Then there's these even smaller beads, which my eyes can't even see them. And then there were these ones, which are so small. I think they'll be going in a Happy Mail pack or something to someone who's younger with better eyesight. Anyway, look at this. Now I'm getting carried away. I'm supposed to be finishing this Roxy's Journal Stitchery. Look at this. Isn't this so cute? It's so tiny. It's so adorable. I'm putting that right next to where I sit so I can be reminded. So there's funny bits and pieces, like bits of agate and stuff and geodes that don't really kind of have a place in these, but there are things like this that have the glass, like I was saying with this one, the glass isn't sticking up off it, it's embedded in, whereas these are like the little handmade things with the glass has been dotted on the outside, made painstakingly, but that's not all. Like there's these beautiful ones, and they're so unique and individual that I wonder if she did a glass making course. I'll have to ask my sister to ask her friend. Sometimes we do this stuff, but our kids don't know what we're doing. So there's little bits of beautiful polished shell. These lovely little ones. And there's a whole heap of these sorts of, like they're like leaves with a hole at the top for stitching onto things. So I really would love to know a bit more of the story of these things, but it really does look like this is like a flower. They look like someone learning how to make glass, so there's every chance that she made these herself. This beautiful, they're just beautiful glass beads. They're not factory made. They're definitely handmade, some of these. There's bits of gemstones through here. I've put them all in the box because I'm going to sort them later. But just these beautiful bits of turquoise. I thought this was funny. Little Noah's Ark button. That's cute. Little flower button with a flower pot. That's very cute. So there's more like this kind of handmade, almost hearts, but not quite. But aren't they beautiful as beads? Just the colours. Gorgeous. And I was saying to Lily, these are like glass marbles, but with the bead hole through the middle. Look at that. Like, did she go to Italy and get these? This one? But they're not perfect like they're from a proper Venetian glass house, because they're all bobbly and stuff. But they're beautiful. They're beautiful in their little handmade way. Here's a school bus button. That made me laugh. This is more circular. Just gorgeous though, and what a find. There were some other things that I loved that were bits of lace. Oh, I've left my joy pouch I'm making has got fish, so there were 2 glass fish. There's those little leaves. Like, I don't know if anyone knows that this is a specific type of thing, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just assuming she's either ordered them from Italy and they're really rough, not rough as in bad, but beautifully textural and naive. Naive is more the word. I love that look. It's just, they're not absolutely perfect. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you know much more about this sort of thing. But I love how these are like marbles. That's fabulous. Anyway, there are a few little other bits and pieces like these little things. These little charms that are double-sided, which are quite nice. Little ladybird. A couple of little buttons, but are they buttons? No, it's not. Oh, yes. I think that's a hole through it. Beads. Looks like a little pin cushion. Another one, little glass flower. These quite big chunky kind of beads. Some hearts. But these are all glass. They're just beautiful, aren't they? And there was just some other little bits like a leaf, some of these little hearts. Bit blingy for me, these. I do have a massive pile of gold buttons. It's like this is a little bit of shell with, I don't know if it's been glued and then painted or if it's real, if they're real pearls. They're probably not real pearls. These get pearls or something. A couple of bits of mother of pearl, just shell. Anyway, let me know what you think. I love this bit of shell that has been carved down and it looks like a bird's head. So that's going to go on something at a later project. Bits of, like, this looks like she's collected bits of stuff from the beach that just got a shine, have been worn down. So these funny little lozenge-like beads, all kinds of things, and a Cuisenaire block. No, it's got a hole through it. No, it's not a Cuisenaire block. It's actually transparent. Oh, that's beautiful. That'll only work if it's some sort of a hanging in the wall, in the window. This one. So I've got totally sidetracked here by all this, but look, aren't they gorgeous? Oh gosh, the kids outside are going for it. Oh, I just love these. I just love the ones that look like marbles. How good are they? So trying to make, looks like someone tried to make flowers in those beads. And there's a couple of corals that have got holes in, but I've also got, next will be my January Joy Pouch video, so I'll be able to show you some of the coral type of things. I love these that look like hearts. This was funny. It's like a little clay doll, and Lily's on a bit of a roll because she goes surfing now and she goes to Urban Surf, which is close by. She's decided after her whole life of saying Crocs are the ugliest things ever, that Crocs are all the rage, and she's been getting those gibbets that you stick in the holes in the Crocs. It's totally un-Lily. She was always very immaculate, and now she's got a Crocs, so this is funny. Anyway, I got my old Crocs out, which I had when the girls were in there, like 8, 7 and 9 or something, and I'd got the lady Mary Janes, because I like, they were a finer detail. Anyway, I got them out, and it's like we realised that they're over 20 years old and they still look like they are brand new. It's amazing. So one pair of Crocs will last a lifetime, I think. But this reminded us of the gibbets, and she said, oh, you should just stick a little gibbet thing on the back and stick it on your Crocs. And I think, but maybe that's a funny idea. Maybe I will do that. Anyway, I think that's so sidetracked. I just want to finish my volume 6 so I can get on to volume 7. Yes, there's a whole heap of other stuff. There was some lovely Appleton's wools in there, which I was really happy about. All right, so I've cast that off. I am going to... Oh, so I'll show you what I... Oh, no, I'll glue it. I'll glue it down. Oh, dear, my glues. Oh, dear. The glue has gone everywhere. I want to glue it down so that then I can get on to other projects. Oh, it's nice and warm in here. Glue. And I also want to be able to air the garage out once I've done this. I think part of my health issues have come from this blasted glue, because it is silicone, and I don't have enough ventilation in here. I'm looking at getting a ventilation kind of fan. I don't like having my roller door open because it lets dust in if there's a bit of a breeze, but also because the little boys next door, I don't want them to get the idea that they're just going to be able to talk to me when I'm wanting to focus on my arty stuff. Right, shut that, wipe off the excess. I got these little glue holder things, incredibly cheap, off Temu. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so this is going to come on here. Then I'll be able to put back my fan back on and go out of this room for a time. Of that Scabiosa fama. Okay, so now that that's down, I'm going to shut it and do a playthrough of all the bits. So this is how it goes. Actually was contemplating whether I'm going to put a little plaque or something up here. I've got field notes, I've got my big leaf, my button and my rick-rack to hold it closed. Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 6, 2024 field notes. So everything's in here. I know what it is from the outside, but maybe it's not so obvious. We had spring, little bird, bulb. I did a bit of thread painting on. Let me do this way. Summer, we got into the heat of summer. My little tag, I think I showed that already, but there you are. There it is again. Wildflowers, didn't quite, that colour didn't stand out so much on the background. Got a little strawberry bit. This. And we went into autumn. We had the bugs. We had colours of autumn. Got in some felt and some ink tents dyeing. Got the mossy woods. And then it was a bird, which I'd already done, but I don't care. I like having two birds. And they're both from Suzanne's material, so they both match up. Then we got into winter, the winter berries, Inca berry, and Winter Visitor, and to the end where, so I have put the stamped Winterberry bit on. I've finished stitching over the word winter, got Winter Visitors, got the name of my favourite winter flower. It's not necessarily my favourite winter flower, but it's just interesting. Done a little bit of stitching on this and kept the edging. A little bit of a reminder that it's a Field Notes journal. I don't know what happened to Edith Holden. She just didn't get a Guernsey, and that's okay. Like I say to Rachel, I can't do anything anyone tells me, and she says I'm the same. So here we go. It's closed, closing, and wrapping, and that is a wrap, folks. Field Notes, Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 6. Now, ready for Volume 7. I can't even with that. I think I have to break it down into little bits because my largest canvas is not big enough for what I'd like to do unless I use one of my really large canvases. And that's, I don't know, I don't know if I can get my head around that yet. So I think the Joy Pouch is the next video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Bye for now.